I wrote this book called Compassionate Decluttering. I launched it in November of 22, and on its launch, it became an Amazon bestseller in household hints and moving and relocation.
Michelle, your wealth word is expansive. What does expansive mean to you?
Ah, that's such a great question. Okay, wealth. I mean, they say after $70,000, you don't have any more happiness than if you have $7 million. So the mindset of that says to me that it's what freedoms, what opportunities and options can you find within the space of wealth that you have? It's being half glass half full, no matter what it is, right? Thinking more bigger, more broadly about what it is you can do. How can you incorporate others into your life in a way that your life feels more expansive, no matter what income level you have? And I know okay, I come from a place of, I'm white, I've got my privilege, I'm comfortable in my life, but I've been poor too. I've made very little money in my past and still felt like the small things that I do in my life that comfort me, that make me feel, safe and celebrated, and, small treats, a special meal that I like to cook, going to the farmer's market and, and getting the fresh corn. Here in Minnesota, we have beautiful fresh corn in this fall. And I just think there's so much joy in whatever financial number you're at. And wealth to me is, yes, beyond money, it's the way you perceive and your perspective on life. I just think there's so much goodness out in the world and so many wonderful human beings to come into contact with, people that you already in contact with, expanding that and deepening that friendship and relationships with people. Being a coach, I was curious before I became a coach. I love to find out what makes people tick, what brings them joy, what makes them where their light shine, and what is their secret desire about what they really want to do with their life if they weren't working, in their job. What would they like to do? So I love those questions because people always go, "What? You're asking me that question? No one asked me that question." And then we get into these amazing conversations. And before you know it, months later, I'm hearing, "Hey, if I bump into them, I'm doing that. I'm doing more of this thing now." A friend of mine really wanted to be in theater. Oh, I know, she's my esthetician who helps me with my face. And talking to her about her dreams, and she loved she lit up when she was talking about theater. And, she's a middle-aged woman. And then months after I went back to see her, she had signed up to be in the local theater in her small town. And then I went to her performance, and it was magical. And she was in her element. You could just feel it. So anyway, I think that being curious leads to so much more expansion in our friendships, our relationships, our life. And I don't know, I get a huge kick out of being in the world and being amongst people that are interested in kind of uncovering those avenues for themselves, just exploring new things, because I'm always interested in exploring new things. And they always, the people give me ideas too. And before you know it, I'm, drumming at, some, spiritual retreat in, Iowa or something, I'm, I love learning and growing. So To me, wealth is more about money. It's really about perspective and a choice to see the world as so much more expansive. So it's fun.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. It is mindset for people because once somebody's achieved a certain thing, I can give you two examples. One is someone I knew who grew up when their parents grew up through the Great Depression. And
Yeah.
so food, just simply having food was a luxury. And so the concept was they would always leave one bite on their plate. And so that's how their parents grew up. So that was, oh, I've made it when I can leave a bite on my plate.
Oh, they were content and full and satisfied.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And
And
representing they had enough.
exactly. And it's
Oh, great.
mindset. Yeah. So it's not necessarily about I need that abundance of money coming in, but what is it that I want that would make me feel wealthy in my life?
Yeah.
Sometimes Sometimes it's that one thing. For example, another one is my mother and going to the theater. She'd always loved the idea of going to the operas. And then she ended up buying herself season tickets. This was years and years and years ago. But that's her thing to be able to go to the theater 4 times a year and say, I'm sitting here in my velvet seats. I've made it.
That's so great. That's so great. That's right. So, and then she gave herself permission to do that for herself. I mean, that's just grand. I just love that. Yay for her. And that's the point. Once in a while, let's treat ourselves like we would treat our friends, like be generous.
And it's interesting because it's a lifetime it takes us to get there too.
Oh,
When we're younger, what do we think? We think it has to be money all the time.
yeah.
And we go through life and experiences and realize it's that which makes us wealthy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
And
fantastic.
And in your business, when you're dealing with people, because I know that's one of the decluttering things of people are attaching money to
Yeah.
items. I don't want to get rid of that because I worked really hard and that was at this time in my life when I didn't have anything, or I saved and saved and saved and saved. And even though it doesn't have the value anymore, there's something monetarily attached to it. How do you deal with those kind of things with people?
Yeah, another great question. So the foundational work that I do with my clients, and obviously what I'm doing with myself, is about vision, anchoring the client, myself included, on what is the vision of the life you want when all of this stuff is gone. And and we're always talking about, does this piece fit into that vision? Don't look at the cost, the investment, maybe the heirloom, the whatnot. It doesn't matter because the vision that you have for your life, your space, if it's truly your true vision, you will make a decision about that knickknack, whatnot, from that space more clearly when you know what your life is going to be like when all this is gone. Having that compelling vision for your life is like a magic decision maker. It's really incredible. Yes, we do rituals around these things, taking photographs, asking people to send video, or to be a part of a video that you're creating about this piece if you need to have this living on in your life. And some people just that's enough. And then they can let it go. And some people need to make sure it goes to the place, a perfect doesn't exist, but a place where someone will be appreciating that piece and hunt down maybe a historical society or whatnot to feel closure around that piece is now safe. But most importantly, they know they don't want it or need it. They've made peace with it because the lifestyle they have set for themselves is so compelling that it's more important than that piece, and they can let things go more easily. It's just perspective again, right? It's what we're paying attention to. And what I tell my clients mostly is stop looking at your stuff, you know, just eyes up, and on the horizon. And where are you going to be when all this stuff is gone? Because you're going to have so much more life available to you in heart, mind, soul, and space when this stuff is gone. So I love holding people and reminding them of their vision when they forget and they're looking at new stuff coming in because sometimes they forget. They've got patterns and habits and behaviors that take a while to kind of let go of. They want to be on track. If this is still important, this vision needs, if this vision is still accurate, great. If not, if it needs to shift, fine. And I'm not interested in, the three things on a mantle kind of situation in people's houses or, keep your surfaces all clear. It matters not to me what my client's space look like. What it feels like to them and what it looks like to them, and they're at peace with it, that's all I care about. And I'm in on the journey with them, locked arm in arm, to get them to that perfect space for them. And I use the word perfect because it's for them, perfection according to their vision. There's just so much power in the vision. And what we think about, right? And where we put our attention in the world. Your attention about being the most amazing podcaster in the universe is probably floating around in the back of your mind. Well, you know, I I I want to be a big cheerleader for you in that process if that's where you're going. So anyway, I don't know where I kind of slipped over to you, but I just know you are doing some amazing things in the world as a podcaster. So I appreciate you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. And if you had to give one piece of advice for somebody who's starting on the journey of their expansiveness in their decluttering, how do you start?
Like I'm doing with my life and vision is act as if it's already happening, that it already happened, and live with that fullness of it happened. I'm in this life and space that I want. And every day, just anchoring on that vision. And I tell you, you will make decisions that serve that vision consciously or unconsciously. You will start to make decisions. No, I guess I don't need that. No, no, not I don't need that. Or I don't know if I have that at home, but I'm going to go check. Or, like you're going to be more conscious of what it is you're doing and what you allowed to pass the threshold of your home because you're protective of this vision and this life that you have. I just act as if you're living in that space already. And you'll be surprised how much change will happen and will snowball over time. So I don't know. I'm just a lover of the vision. So, and it doesn't cost you anything, you know? And I think the cost of, I love to be efficient and getting to where you want to be as quickly as possible, or as not quickly, or just sort of as efficiently. We've got only so much effort, right? And time. So make the most out of your effort and time and in getting towards that vision and make some good choices and let go of some stuff.